today we got a '99 Honda Odyssey. Not just the Odyssey, but a lot of the cars, Hondas, as well as some other vehicles. They all have a problem with the idle, doesn't idle, where the idle speed is actually surging up and down. I'll get inside this car here and I'll show you exactly what I mean about the surging. In this particular case, it's actually pretty bad. It's probably to around 1,500, 2,000. It just keeps on jumping up and down, up and down. So I'm going to show you how to correct that problem, and it's not as hard as you would think. All right, so let's get inside the car and I'll show you what it's doing. Okay, we're in the car now and we're getting ready to start it up. I just want to point out that I did scan the vehicle already, and I already know that the code that's in there is a P0505, and it's the idle speed. Motor itself is not adjusting properly, but I'll show you what's going on with it. Obviously the check engine light is on, and after it runs for a moment you'll notice the idle speed surging up and down. And that's what it does. As it heats up, it gets even worse. All right, let's shut this off. All right, now I've run into this problem before. I already know what the problem is because it's happened to me many times before. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to go underneath the hood, and we're going to remove the idle speed motor, and we're going to be replacing it with a new one. So let's go up front, and I'm going to show you what you're going to need to do, and you can do it step by step, and you should be in good shape. Let's get moving. Okay, this is where your idle speed motor is actually located. It's down underneath the bottom, down inside there. And as you can see, it's a little bit difficult to get to. Easiest way to do it is going to remove the throttle body. We'll take this off the vehicle, turn it over, and we'll be able to get to that idle speed motor fairly easily. So let's grab some tools and we're going to get started. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect all of the electrical connectors here, as well as on the side over here. Take all these hoses off, the cables on here, remove the air intake, and we're going to unbolt this throttle body and pull it off. So let me grab some tools and let's get working on this thing. Okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to remove everything you can see right here so we can gain access inside over here. Just remove this and get this out of the way. Hook everything that's in the way here so it opens it up for you. Take this out here. We'll get this out of the way. Okay, let me show you what that looks like in there. Down here is where the idle speed motor is located. That's this piece right up inside here. So we're going to be removing, we're going to take the throttle body off, and we're going to take the throttle body and turn it over so we can gain access to the bolts underneath there, because you won't be able to turn them out right now. So this also has antifreeze flowing through it, so you'll need to drain some cooling system, the antifreeze out of it, or you can do what I'm going to do is you could pinch off one of these lines here and reduce the amount of fluid lost. So all right, let's keep on working on it. just going to disconnect everything that's on there. We're going to remove it and just take it out of the way so we can pull our throttle body off. And we just relocate everything out of the way. These electrical connectors, you just push the pin in and it just pulls right out like this. Same thing right here. Rock it back and forth, it comes right off. And the same thing down on the bottom, there's another sensor there. Just push the pin in. Just the lock tab. And you can take that off. Probably going to be some antifreeze being lost through here, so we're just going to be a little bit careful. We'll see how much we get out of there. I usually do just to minimize the amount of antifreeze being lost is just pinch off the line just a little bit to keep the antifreeze from flowing. Not too tight because you don't want to break the hose. And then we can just push that hose down and out of the way. And we'll do the same thing on this other hose right here. Just get in here with a pair of needle nose pliers, and you can just pull that clamp out of the way. Just pull it back. You might have a little antifreeze, but nothing significant. Alright, then we'll just take that hose up and out of the way for now. And then we're going to remove these two cables right here. And then we'll unbolt this, and we're going to unbolt it from here, 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 and there's one more down there, and we'll take this throttle body right off the car. Off. And we're just going to loosen those nuts. Break these cables loose right here. It's probably a 12 millimeter, which it is. So we're just going to loosen them and pull these cables out of the way. Remember which cable goes where. Take this cable off here, same thing, unscrew that back. Put them so you remember which one goes where. And then we're going to take these bolts out here, and we'll remove that throttle. The throttle body, just so you know, it is 12 millimeters also. We'll break them all loose. And we'll take it out. And once you have it broken loose, then you can just take them out by hand. They usually come out fairly easy. And just so you know too, whenever you take a throttle body off, you're going to change the gaskets on there. You're not going to take a chance on putting it back together with the old gaskets and wind up with a vacuum leak. All right, once you got the bolts loose, you can just rock it back and forth, and you'll feel it pop loose. And then we're just going to take it off the car, and we're going to bring it over to the workbench, and we're going to take out these screws here to remove this piece here. So let's get over to the workbench, and we're going to continue on this. Okay, now we have it here on the bench. We're going to take these screws out here. These screws are usually pretty tight, so just be careful. You don't want to strip them. A lot of force when you're trying to turn these so you don't strip them out. That one feels like it's going to strip. What I usually do when they feel like they're going to strip out like that, get in there with a pair of vice grips and lock it on there real tight, and then you can crack it loose. Once you crack it loose, then you can get back in there with your screwdriver and remove it. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to strip this screw out. If you strip it out, you're going to have a really big problem. And then this comes right off. And then we're going to need to change that gasket right in there also. So let me get a scribe and we'll get that out. Okay. And then you just get in here with any kind of pointy object and you can pull that gasket out. We don't want to ever use a gasket over again. Always change it. Always scrape it off to make sure you have all of your sediment or any kind of oxidation off. In this case it's fine. Then we're going to put our new gasket back in there and we'll reassemble it. There's only one way it can go in there, so watch how you do it. And it should fit right into the seat. Let me just show you one thing real quick here. This is what happens right inside there. You can see there's a little like a, maybe you see it better on this one. You see inside here it has that piece that actually rotates inside there, and this one here is all clogged up with carbon. So, all right, let's put the other one back together, and let's get this job wrapped up then. All right, remember there's only one way you can go back on, so put it back on the way you took it off. Catch both of the screws in there by hand first before you tighten them up. snug them both down. Nice and tight. Okay. Now before I put this back on the car, I am going to clean out this this throttle plate here because this is really dirty, and a lot of times that carbon gets inside here and it causes an issue with that. So let me clean this all out, and then we're going to clean that gasket off here as well as on the engine. So let's get back over there. I just want to show you how to clean out the throttle body real quick. What we're going to do is we're going to spray it in here just a little bit. You want to use it very sparingly. You don't want to use too much of it. And then what you do is you take a brush, you wet that brush down, and you just do this and clean off all of that buildup inside there. All that carbon buildup. So let me clean this all out. Once I get it clean, I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. We just have to work it like this and get it cleaned up. And then you just take a rag and you clean out all of that buildup inside there. Like that. And you can see how much cleaner it is already. We'll hold it open. And we'll clean it out in here the rest of the way. Remember, very sparingly, you don't want to use too much of it. See how much cleaner it is now. On this side, and we're going to do the same thing on this side here. Again, we're going to minimize the amount of fluid going down into anything. We're just going to use a very small amount. And then we're going to spray up our brush again. And then use a rag to clean out all of that stuff that's inside there, all that carbon buildup. That's it, nice and clean. Okay, all right. Let's clean off this gasket on here. We're going to clean off the gasket on the other part of the intake, and we're going to wrap this job up. Okay, this is the gasket right here that we're going to be removing. You never want to reuse these old gaskets here. So we're going to get in here with a scraper, and we're going to scrape this off. If you don't have a scraper, you can get in there with a razor blade and clean it off. So let's get this cleaned off, and we'll come right back then. Okay, now that we have everything cleaned up, we have the new gasket on. Now remember, this gasket can only go on one way. You have these little cutouts right here where it fits right into. So there's only one way this gasket can go onto the car. All right, we'll put that on like that, and then we're going to lay the throttle body back in there. All right, throttle body's nice and clean. Let's just put the throttle body back on, and we're going to bolt it back up. Make sure you don't pinch anything underneath the bottom of it when you put it back in. And you can catch the nuts. You're not going to tighten anything up yet. Just going to catch it on there. Screw the bolts in place. place first before you tighten anything up. Screw it all in by hand, and then we're going to snug everything down. What I always do is start with the furthest bolt away, and you screw it into aluminum so don't go too tight. And then just check them one more time, make sure you're tight. Nice and tight. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to start reconnecting everything that we disconnected. I'm going to put that hose on the bottom down here first, slide it into place. Make sure it's all the way up, and then you can put your clamp back in place. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to reattach the coolant hose that we previously removed here. Put that back on, and again slide that clamp back into position. So both of our coolant hoses are now reattached. We're going to take those vice grips off that we locked to let the coolant leak out. Right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to... Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to reattach the electrical connectors that we previously took out, and you listen for it to snap in. Attach the cables that we previously removed. This is the back one. I put it to the back of the vehicle, and then put that back in where it belongs. And tighten up that front screw. Remember, we loosened the front screw, so don't turn the back one. That way everything will be exactly where it's supposed to be. And then snug it in with that 12mm wrench. And we're going to take our other cable that we have here. Same thing, I'm going to slide it in and screw that nut back up that we previously removed. Remember, it was the front one that we loosened, not the back one. Tighten that up also. Okay, then we're going to reattach our cables to their positions. In. Let me attach our second cable. Okay, so both cables are now reconnected. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to reattach our hose that we previously took out. But I think we're going to do this after we get our snorkel back in there. I'm going to leave that for the side for now. We have to plug our one more sensor back in. and you hear it snap, and you're locked in. Okay, let's grab our snorkel, and we'll put that back in there too. Remember, you want to reattach all those hoses that you previously disconnected. This hose here, as well as this hose in the back here. Alright, so slide it down inside there. Before we reattach everything, we're going to put the hoses back in where they were previously removed from. Reconnect our hose in the back that we took out. I'll show you what that is in a second. We're going to reattach this hose up in the front that was taken out there. We're going to put these back in. We'll get the one down here. Sometimes they're a little bit hard because it is rubber in it. We'll show this to you in a moment. Try to get everything back in place. We're going to tighten up this screw on the snorkel where it goes onto the throttle body. Reattach the hose in the back. I'll show you what I'm doing here. I'm putting the electrical wiring back in where it belongs. I'll show you this in a minute too. Just going to put the hose back in where it belongs. Reattach everything. Move the clamps back into position. And I'll show you exactly what I did. Okay, we tightened up the 12 millimeter bolts to 4 of them to hold the throttle body onto the vehicle. Reattached our sensor here. Reconnected these two cables here. There's a vacuum hose that goes right into the side of the breather here. We reconnected that. What I was doing with this hose right here is I was pushing it back into its spots. That is made specifically to hold the hose so we don't have any damage to the hose by laying in the wrong place. So it's back in where it belongs here, as well as down in here, same thing. And in the front over here, it's the exact same thing. We put it back in here. Alright, so this is tight, this is reconnected, all your plugs are plugged back in. And then now I'm going to go inside the car and we're going to start it up. And if you did your job right, you should be good. So let's give it a shot. and we're going to see how it works. If it works properly, it should start up and run up to about, say, 1500 RPMs, and then drop back down to a normal, stable idle. It's not surging up and down. So let's start it up and see how it is. Alright, idle speed is up. And once it warms up, it should come down a little bit below. It's about 1100 right now. It should be a little bit less than that. But as it warms up, you know, we should be okay. I'm going to now connect my scanner up, and I'm going to turn that light back off right there. We're going to road test it, and we're going to make sure this job is done perfectly. Alright, thanks for watching. Any questions, any comments, anything I can help you with? You just send me an email, drop me a line, whatever. I'll be more than happy to help you out with anything. Alright, thanks for watching. Good luck. And I'll see you on the next one.